our next storyteller just got off a plane, literally, like at 7, and she's from Austin, and she has a title. This is not in your thing. Is that okay? Can I go off script?
Yes.
Yes, her title is the Queen of Weird.
Yes.
Yes, she rolls her eyes, and which is pretty fabulous, and we know something about that out here, you know. So it's really an amazing culture of the Bay Area. I'm very happy to be born and raised here. Like, I don't know anything about roots, honestly, but I know something about, weird. Like, like, if you're a freak where you're from, if you come here, you will just be normal and happy and celebrated and accepted, and that is so beautiful. And I hear that that's true about Austin too, so that's really cool. Okay, back to script. Okay, she is a baby boomer from the sex generation. She has never owned a pair of jeans. I heard that. Yes. In Texas, thank you from the back. Yes, in Texas, even more amazing. Moving on. This year, she published a book called Kid Me Not, an anthology of stories by women in their from the 60s, now in their 60s, who choose to be child-free. So please give a huge hand all the way from Austin, Texas, to Aralyn Hughes!
I was a virgin when I got married at 21, and by 30 I was divorced. And after that point, it kind of became so many men, so little time. It was after birth control and before AIDS, and it was the best of times. But now I'm in my 60s, and sex has kind of gone down on the list, not off the list, but down on the list in terms of priority. It's been replaced by things like companionship and vulnerability and transparency and things like that. And if you had told me that, in a million years I would have never guessed that that change of focus would have taken me to where I am now in my 60s. I have a friend in Austin who is in her 20s and she teaches school, and I'm on her email list and she sends me these music videos. Well, I'm not into that kind of music and I don't pay much attention to them, but one day she sent me one and it said Rihanna, S&M. And I thought, now Rihanna, that's that woman that got beat up by her boyfriend and couldn't perform in the Academy Awards, and so I said, I think I'll check that out. So I pushed the button and there she came. Has anybody seen this video? Oh my God, go home tonight. I couldn't take my eyes off it. I must have played it 100 times. I was sending it to all my friends. I was talking about it. I was amazed. She was in white latex from head to toe. She was in all kinds of costumes, sexy and little girl and polka dots. She was plastered behind a cellophane sheet on a wall, and she was fighting. She was tying people up in ropes. She had a whip, and she was spanking both the men and the women. And she had a guy on a collar with a leash, and she was walking him down the street. And I said, I want to be her. But I didn't really know what she was doing. I mean, I don't know that world, and so I said I have to do some homework, and so I found out that what she was doing was BDSM, bondage, discipline, sadism, masochism, and what she was doing was being the dominant. And if a woman is dominant, they're called a dominatrix. I was so out of it, I had to look up on the computer how to spell it. I wasn't even sure. Then I found out that, she's really a stereotype. That size and age or nothing like that really matters. In fact, I heard that submissive men really like older women. Qualified! But I said to myself, I don't want to have sex with these guys. I mean, I'm not going to be a prostitute after all these years. But I found out you don't have to have sex with them. I mean, you're in charge. You can do whatever you want to. So I might work. Then I found out that if you become really experienced and really good at what you do, that you can make money. Men will pay you not for sex, but for their kink. And I thought, it's an idea for retirement income. Now, when I was a kid, I was the one who was always in charge. It just seems like things went smoother when I was in charge. And I would say, I'm going to be the teacher, and you're going to be the student, and you sit in that chair, and if you get out of there, I'm going to spank your butt. And you deserve to spanking right now, you get over here, and I'd spank them, and off they'd go. So things like that, and I started thinking, I might just be a natural at this dominatrix. In the last few years, too, I've noticed that men have said to me on many occasions, I think you're kind of bossy and controlling and kind of high voltage. And they said it like it was a bad thing. So I thought, if I went into that dominatrix world, those men would really appreciate me. So I thought, I don't know whether I want to do this or not, but how would you even get started? And so I had done my homework, and I thought, I'll just buy the outfit. Just that, I'm not going to go any further than that. I got the outfit, I got the bustier thing, I got the boots, I got those 5-inch fuck me pumps, and I got red sequin, kind of like the Wizard of Oz. I was all set. And then it's like, what am I going to do now? Put an ad in the paper? And that's exactly what I did. I'm going into the vault so I can get it exactly right. This is the ad I placed in the Austin Chronicle in Austin, Texas.
Yes.
Dominatrix wannabe, looking for willing, submissive man who knows how to look, beg, and not touch. Except maybe on special occasions. Bette Midler personality with a whip, looking for a quirky, offbeat servant.
Wow.
Well, I'll be danged if this ad didn't come out as flavor of the week, meaning the best ad of the whole week. And I thought, being best ad, maybe somebody answered the ad. So I went back into the computer. I'm not very good. I have to put the password and do all this kind of stuff. And when I opened it up, it's like, the responses were overwhelming. And before I knew it, I was back to so many men, so little time. I mean, every man was different. Every experience was different. I changed my name to Goddess Ishtar, and they addressed me as such. I had the role of a lifetime for an actress. I mean, I was the director, I was the lead actress, and I also wrote the script. I mean, what more could you ask for? I also attended a BDSM national conference, and that was certainly eye-opening. They had a 10,000 square foot dungeon. Dungeon means that that's a place where they do BDSM activities. I saw fire play. I saw men in full-size cages up in the air. I saw a woman that was naked on a cross with cellophane all around her that was lifted off the ground and hanging up there. I mean, there was people doing tattoos, not with that little thing, but with actual knife designs in the skin. So it's like, that was just so amazing to me. And while I was there, I met this real experienced dominatrix, and she said to me, now, if you are going to be at the top of your game in this dominatrix thing, you've got to be submissive. It's like baseball, you have to play all the bases. And I said, I have worked all these years to be a feminist, to get on the top. I've made my own money, so I don't have to depend on any man. I am not going to be submissive. How am I going to do that? But God, I want to be at the top of my game. I have so many stories about this that I could be here all night, but I have started doing these 90-minute monologue storytelling shows about all my adventures in that world. And a filmmaker in Austin has now captured some of those stories and added some things and basically done a documentary feature film on me as the Austin Queen of Weird, who started out expecting to be a wife, homemaker, and mother, who now is, you know, in the world of being a dominatrix in her 60s. So I have the film here tonight because it's $20 if you want the film. It's a feature film, 100 minutes, but I'm actually here in California because it's at the Santa Cruz Film Festival this coming weekend, Friday night, the 14th at 7 o'clock at the Rio Theater. So you're not that far from Santa Cruz. In this world that I went into, I had some real surprises. Number one, I never expected to have the kind of intimacy that I did with a man in a hotel room that was a stranger that I'd never met before. But it was there. And secondly, I was really surprised at these kind of motherly instincts that came out in me. I mean, I would blindfold them often so I could take those damn shoes off. And I was so afraid that they were going to like fall down the stairs or trip or hurt themselves. And I wanted them to have a good time. I was trying to create a fun experience and all this kind of thing. So that was a real surprise to me. And also in that world, you kind of have to create a kind of a balance between compassion and discipline. And the discipline thing was kind of interesting because whenever that was going on, I was hearing my mother, the words she used to say when she spanked me when I was little, because I was pretty ornery. And she would say, "Honey, this hurts me more than it hurts you." And I finally understood those words. I'm going to leave telling you one thing that's not in the movie, because it's happened after the movie, and that is I have found a man to be submissive with. And I tell you, it's different, but it's great. And I didn't find him in Austin, Texas. I found him in Oakland, California.